On today's episode of What's Your Fantasy, we're going to take a look at the top rookies. That's right, the top rookies in fantasy football. Stick around and we're going to break it down right after this. Hey, look. Ruining dreams under pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme. You know what I mean? Add the boy Breezy Prince like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure. The number one team. Let the world know what's your fantasy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What's Your Fantasy Football Show. It's your host, the WayneBreezie. That be me, Crystal Peachy B. That be she. We are here, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about the top NFL rookies. Now, listen, there's a bunch of rookies that a lot of people are going to want to draft. And don't be mad if there's a rookie that did not make our list. We're only going to give you 7 or 8 because we're going to go through each position group as if you were drafting. Peachy, you ready to get down to this?
Let's do it.
I'm going to let you kick off that first one. So for our quarterback, we decided that the number one quarterback in fantasy football as a rookie will be Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. Why, Peachy? Tell us why.
Well, first of all, Caleb shined whenever he was at USC. So we knew that he was going to be highly touted. Coming into the National Football League, it's looked great in preseason. Is just a shine, but I don't know how he can't with those plethora of weapons that he has out there. He almost can't go wrong. He moves around in the pocket really well, is adapting to the NFL speed and everything, just like he's been here for years already. So on high hopes on Caleb Williams. Definitely want to look at if you want to draft one of these all-star rookie receivers. He's moving up the charts. So I'm very, very excited about Caleb. Might have to pick him up in a couple of these. I'll get a chance to.
Yeah, if you're looking for a quarterback, and I would say you can. I would get Caleb. Relatively. If there's a run on quarterbacks, he might be one of the top ones that I think he will compete well against. Your top 5, top 10 quarterbacks. So I would pick him up. He's like Peachy said a little bit earlier. He's got weapons, right? And not only is he surrounded by like some of the younger talent, but he's got Keenan Allen. He's got veterans in there. He's got my man DJ Moore, who we have rated as a top 10 wide receiver. So go ahead and check out that episode. It'll be up there listed. But just see how he's going to move. He's able to extend plays, and I think that ability right there is going to make him a top fantasy quarterback. Just like C.J. Stroud was a top fantasy quarterback last year, I believe he's the C.J. Stroud of 2024. So pick up Caleb Williams. All right, so we're going to shift over to the running back side of things. Jonathan Brooks out of Texas. Now, listen, he is coming into the season with an injury. That doesn't mean you have to go out there. You have to draft him right away. This is what we like to call, Peachy, you draft and stash. Tell us a little bit about Jonathan Brooks and what draft and stash means to you.
Okay, Jonathan Brooks, I believe once he gets healthy, it's going to be a great back for the Carolina Panthers. I know they are excited finally about their quarterback Bryce Young doing bigger things this year. Look, Bryce Young's looking a lot better, but that's what happens whenever you invest in O-line and his protection and everything like that. It also will help this young man when he is finally ready to be able to achieve more, especially when it comes to PPR, because he definitely is a pass catching back. And there's a lot of great things ahead about him. Also, as far as draft and stash, you always want to have players that are not exactly ready right now, but can blossom as the year goes on. And you might have a bye week where you're desperate and you're trying to find somebody, and he's just right there peeking out the corner for you to put in that top lineup. So definitely.
I would say Jonathan Brooks is this year's mixture between a Bijan Robinson and a Jahmyr Gibbs, right? And so, like, yeah, those were your top guys last year. And the only thing that's holding him back is the injury. But my thing is, he's going to get healthy. And when he gets healthy, he's going to add a whole different dynamic to the Carolina Panthers backfield. I know they got Chuba Hubbard back there, but and they got another veteran, but he's going to add a nice little breath of fresh air. And I would say by midseason he'll be taking over. So you definitely want to find a way to pick up Brooks. Don't wait to the waiver wire. Trust me, this is going to be one of those top tier running backs. Now listen, there are other running backs out there. There's Trey Benson. There's other guys out there that may get some good burn early, but they may end up burning themselves out. This kid is the number one running back coming out of the draft, so do not miss out on drafting Jonathan Brooks. And speaking of number one running backs, we're going to go to the Los Angeles Rams, who is currently their number 2 back, Blake Corum out of the University of Michigan. Now listen, this ain't a homer pick for your boy Breezy. I'm just saying it's tough for me. And you can ask PG. I have not kept up with Blake since he's left the University of Michigan.
True.
Once they get to the NFL, if you ain't a 49er, you're the enemy. And he happened to be on our enemy, right? He's a rival now. So this is tough for me. So when we play Blake Corum, we better do our damn due diligence. This kid's a hard running back. He's gonna run hard in between the tackles, and he's gonna try to blaze trails. But they got a nice little running back system in Los Angeles with the Rams. Peachy, a little bit about Blake Corum and why he's gonna be a top running back for a rookie.
Okay, so first of all, he is behind the sensational Kyron Williams, but one thing that in a Sean McVay offense that you're going to have is you're going to be able to share that rock, and he's going to get plenty of opportunities to shine this year. I believe being in that Rams system, I believe that he's going to be a top rookie because I do believe that he's going to get a lot more usage than people think that he's going to get, even with Kyron. I really do. I know that Sean McVay likes to spell his running backs. I know that his plan is to have more of a shared running back offense so that neither one is worn out. So I do believe that it might be more of a committee type deal this season, which gives Corum the opportunity to really, really shine in this offense. And he can also catch, which makes him a good PPR. And he's also great at touchdowns. And don't let this dude get loose, because if he gets loose, you will not catch him.
The goose will get loose.
Yes.
And trust me, I know. And Peachy knows.
I know firsthand.
Yep. So let's look, big time playmaker. And he'll probably explode on the scene just like Kyron Williams did last year, right? Like Kyron Williams just came out of nowhere and exploded on the scene. Guess against who? Guess San Francisco 49ers.
Of course.
Just came out of nowhere. It's like, oh shoot, he can catch out of the backfield. Oh snap. All right, number 1 wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr. Listen, he going top 10 pick, okay? And I get it. He hasn't played one single NFL down career snap other than in the preseason, and this kid is going to be a problem in the NFL for years to come, not just because of the pedigree. He's a little bit different than his dad, but just because of his makeup. This is a big mother trucker, yo. Like, this is a big wide receiver that has 4.23 speed and can just get down the field. Marvin Harrison Jr. Peachy's going to take us away on this one. I know she's happy. She let me talk about Blake Corum. I got to sit here and listen to this shit. You ready, Peachy? Go ahead.
Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Ohio State University. Another sad day whenever he was picked by my division rival. I gotta tell you what, man. Me and Breezy cannot win for nothing. For real. But it is the best division in football. And so that's why they tend to get these players. He is going to make Kyler Murray look so good out there. He can catch anything. He's a great in touchdowns. He's a red zone threat. If you get him out there and he gets the ball, forget it. He's not going to get it. He's amazing. And I'm so sad because the 49ers don't have him.
Well, I mean, we knew the Niners weren't going to get him.
I know.
But now we got to defend him. Like, you
I
know what I mean?
know,
So
right?
like this, it wasn't like, oh, the Niners are gonna get him. No, man. If he would have fell to 31 and the Niners were able to get him, I would have bought you season tickets. But that we knew that wasn't gonna happen. The issue is he's on our rival, and the issue is now we got to deal with this cat for years, right? And so that's the issue, right? And so I got to deal. And the crazy thing is, I typically like the Ohio State wide receivers. Once they get to the NFL, I like them. I like them a lot. Why? Because I got to see them firsthand. But there's no way I could like this kid. He's an Arizona Cardinal. Had he went to any other team other than any other team out of the NFC West, I would have been like, he's my favorite player. I could feel it. But unfortunately, he's not going to be. Sorry, MHJ. It's strictly business and it's strictly personal there. So
Another thing that is interesting about Mr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is there are scouts that said that he has the potential to be better than his dad, Marvin Harrison.
Ain't happening. All right, next. Moving on. He was a Colt. All right, listen. This is a wide receiver that I think is, I would say, sleeping under the radar. And I love them LSU boys. If I got to pick wide receivers, give them to me from LSU and freaking the Ohio State, right? And so Brian Thomas Jr. in Jacksonville is going to make Sunshine look like an MVP type of quarterback. I hate to say it. Now listen, I love Malik Neighbors. I know he's a New York Football Giant, but that's Daniel Jones. I'll take Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence any day over Daniel Jones. Throwing to this kid right here, Brian Thomas Jr. What are your thoughts on Brian Thomas Jr.?
Man, Breezy said it best. LSU wide receiver. Come on. We've seen LSU's product of wide receivers in the National Football League. We know good and well. And Trevor Lawrence, whenever he is on, and he's definitely going to help with the rest of the guys that he has back there throwing to. I really feel like that Brian Thomas is going to explode this season. Very happy with him in Jacksonville. I think he's going to bring that dynamic back to this Jacksonville offense that they need. With him, Kirk, who am I missing? Another big wide receiver that's back there. They are.
No, I think that's it because they moved.
It
on
might
from,
be.
I can never
Ridley.
think of his name.
That's
they moved
right.
on from Ridley.
They moved on from Ridley. That's right.
He's now
okay.
in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then they drafted Brian.
Oh
Thomas
yeah.
Jr.
So I'm 100%.
They do have Evan Ingram.
Yes.
Who's like a top fantasy football tight end.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do see. Like I said, you just can't go wrong when you get a receiver from LSU. So.
They just all dynamic. It's so weird. It's just super weird. Moving right along. So those are our starting receivers. Those are your receivers. Those are the guys you want to draft. Now tight end is going to look a little interesting. And Peachy and I really put our two brains together and we said, you know what? Who's our favorite tight end during the whole draft process? And I kept saying Ben Sinnott, or Ben Sinnott, however you want to say his name. Kept saying it. This kid out of Kansas State is going to be a problem. He could do it all. He's best blocker, best pass catcher, best whatever you want to line him up in the backfield as a running back. He could do it all. And I had the 49ers drafting him, and he went to the Commanders because Adam Peters said, that's who we want.
Right.
And I'm like, Peters, man. I'm in the mindset of Adam Peters. I got to find a way to get back into the mindset of John Lynch. My mindset was Adam Peters.
Well, because he basically stole like our whole draft board.
Whole draft board. Everybody
just came in like a thief in the night and just took the whole entire thing. And that's basically what he
came in like a thief in the night. I think he just straight up just said, I'm taking it. What you going to do about it? Like, that's what he did. I felt like we got punked. But this kid right here, I think, is going to be a problem, especially for the rookie quarterback, because you always said that a tight end is a quarterback's best friend, and these guys are rookies. They're coming in together. They're having a fantabulous preseason, and I'm excited to see what Ben Sinnott is going to do in fantasy football. What are your thoughts?
I feel that Sinnott's not whichever. I think by the end of this season, we're going to know exactly what his name is. Jaden Daniels has a great weapon to throw to. He already has a plethora of weapons, but the concentration is, of course, going to be on Scary Terry McLaurin and others. So I think that Sinnott's going to have a huge year. I believe he's going to have a ton of targets, and it's going to be some touchdowns in there. Very excited about this tight end. He was all Big 12 conference as a redshirt sophomore whenever he was at, where'd he go? Kansas State, I think, or something like that. One of them schools, one of them Kansas schools, but
Kansas State. But in the National Football League, like I said, I believe by the end of the year, we're going to know who this kid is, because he's just what the Commanders need to get this regime back to where they want it to. It's definitely a great addition to this team. George Kittle vibes. I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely.
George Kittle vibes. The ability to make great plays, but great in protection.
Yes.
Run blocking, pass pro, whatever you need him to do. He's going to be able to do that.
Yep.
So let's keep it moving, man. We got our tight end. We went with a flex position, and we came up with another wide receiver that I feel like is going under the radar over there with Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. We got Ladd McConkey. I think he just might blow everybody away. It would be interesting. He might put up crazy numbers and stats this year with Justin Herbert. If they can find the ability to be able to run the ball, they got great pass catchers. But this is the kid that's going to probably move the chains. They got an offensive line now to protect. Didn't they draft Joe Alt first, too? I can't remember who they got first. They got an offensive line. They'll be able to get this kid. He gets the ball in space. He runs a good 4.3. They're going to be a problem. He doesn't give me like, I know we compare all little white wide receivers to like Wes Welker, and nah, he's different. He can run routes. He can get down the field. So thoughts on Ladd McConkey?
He also has the offensive coordinator in Greg Roman, the coach in Jim Harbaugh. Definitely, Ladd's looking pretty good in preseason. Herbert's getting the rust off. We'll just put it that way. But once Herbert gets back to normal, because we know that Herbert had the foot thing and everything, so he missed a lot of the training camp. But I feel like that Ladd is going to have a pretty decent year. He played really well whenever he was at Georgia. I'm looking for great things in this offense. They need a wide receiver to stand out in this Chargers offense, losing all that they lost. They gained, but right now, I think they lost more than they've gained so far. But we'll see. But I'm real excited about Ladd.
Well, they lost Keenan Allen. They also lost Mike Williams. So they're gone. I think they traded Allen. Mike Williams, I think he was traded too, right? They traded those guys.
I think they traded both of them.
Yeah.
One of them was a free agent, I think, and one of them was a trade, yeah.
Williams might have been the free agent, and he's now a Jet. And Keenan Allen, I believe, was traded to the Bears. But this is you. So you talked about Greg Roman, and we know about Greg Roman as 49er fans. We know what they like to do. They got them a quarterback, and I believe is a little bit different than what Colin Kaepernick was under the Harbaugh, Greg Roman era. The one thing that they're going to get from Justin Herbert is the big cannon, that strong arm, and it's pretty accurate. And if they can find the ability to run the ball, if I think J.K. Dobbins is their back now, if they can find a way to run this rock. I can't remember who they got at their running back. I know they picked up
the whole Ravens.
The whole Ravens, right? That's what I thought. But no. There's a reason for it, because where was Greg Roman?
In Baltimore.
Right, so he took his running backs. These are his guys, right?
Yep.
And so they got the offensive line, and now they got a guy
Gus, whatever his last name is.
Gus
That's
Edwards.
the other one. Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah. So they got their pass catching back, and they got their bruiser back.
Yes.
Right, and so they got some, and now they can utilize Ladd McConkey and his speed, and can get down the field to unleash what you call his big arm, Justin Herbert's big arm. So it's going to be interesting. And Harbaugh, we know Harbaugh and how they're going to play. This kid's going to put up some numbers. So make sure you look for Ladd McConkey as one. If you're going to draft rookies, we're giving you the rookies to look out for. Some of them are obvious. Some of them you may be like, who? What? Nah, I'm good. But trust me, you'll thank us later if you're looking for a rookie kicker. Because somehow these rookie kickers come in the league. Sometimes they struggle, and sometimes they stand out. But Joshua Carty out of the LA Rams will be our last player that we discuss. He finished 83.3% in the preseason. And so he's definitely going to be, he beat out. They had 2 kickers in camp, and he's won the spot. So Sean McVay is going to go. We got 2 Rams on this list. Ain't that a Mitch? Sean McVay just hit me. Sean McVay is going to go with the rookie kicker. Joshua Peachy, any thoughts on Joshua, and can he kick it?
Yes, he can kick it. Hopefully he will remain the Rams kicker. So he's the only rookie kicker that was actually drafted. So, and the Rams got him.
True. There's some undrafted guys that are on rosters right now, but he was the one. He's the only kicker, like she said, that was actually drafted. And we'll see what happens. But if you're looking for a rookie kicker, which I wouldn't even take the risk of doing it, but if you just want to go against the grain and you don't want to settle for any of the vets, do be my guest. And here's the thing. Let's say something happens to your kicker early and he's available. Pay attention. He might just be the guy you need for your roster.
Yes.
All right. So just a quick recap. We went with kicker Joshua Carty from the Rams, Ladd McConkey from the Chargers wide receiver. We went tight end Ben Sinnott from Washington. We went wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jags, wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Cardinals, and then we went with running back 2 would be Blake Corum from the Rams, running back 1 would be Jonathan Brooks from the Panthers, and then the quarterback here that you don't want to miss out on would be Caleb Williams. Peachy, just a sleeper rookie. You can give me any rookie, sleeper rookie. Who would it be and why?
Oh, wow. Darn. On the spot.
Any position you want. Just a quick sleeper. What's the first person that comes to your mind that's not on our list, basically, is what I'm asking.
Oh, my goodness. Xavier Worthy from the Kansas City Chiefs.
There you go. Speed Demon, 4.21 speed. Looks really good in preseason. Another wide receiver. If I had to pick one, a sleeper rookie, look for Bowers, the tight end.
Yes, Georgia.
Vegas. He was from Georgia as well. And the cool thing about him is I know Vegas has Michael Myers, and then they have Brock Bowers, but they're 2 totally different types of tight ends. And Brock is the guy you want to get the ball in his hands. He's hard to tackle. And Mayer is the guy that is just a big-ass target and is going to finish in the end zone and the red zone if they can get to the red zone. I tell you what, if they come out there in 12 personnel with 2 tight end sets and you see those guys out there, look for Brock to get the ball, short route in space and make everybody miss, and look for Meyer to, close it off, finish it off with a touchdown if they get to that red zone. What a great show.
It seems like that every team seems to be looking for that Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez
that's the key
connection together. Like literally, that's what they were. Vegas may have found it, we will certainly see.
And the reason being for that is because of what you are forcing their defenses to defend when it's out on the football field. So you put 2 tight end sets out there, dynamic tight ends. One could be out of the backfield. One can be, it's crazy. Like, how do you defend it? And so that's what teams are looking to do. And I expect every team to kind of like venture off into that as the tight ends become more hybrid in college. So pay attention to that. If your team is one of those teams with 2 tight ends, drop a holler in the comment section. Make sure you like this show. We truly appreciate you guys for watching and supporting the What's Your Fantasy Football Show. We will be here every week bringing you guys fantasy football content. If you have or need some fantasy football advice, leave a comment. We will make sure that we respond to it. Also, we're going to be doing our fantasy football league. So it's going to be the WayneBreezie Entertainment Network Fantasy Football League. Now, now there will be 10 vacant spots, and you guys will have to go against myself and Peachy in that league. It's a free league. I'll leave all the information in the description of the show. Make sure if you want to be a part of it, though, you have to watch the show and leave us a message saying you would like to participate. The first 10 messages that we see will be in the Fantasy Football League. I'll need your email address and you'll get the invite, all right? Thanks for tuning in to What's Your Fantasy. Till the next time, we out this joint. Peace out. Hey, look. Ruining dreams under pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme. You know what I mean? Add the boy Breezy Prince like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure. The #1 team. Let the world know what's your fantasy.